It is our first one for the new year, and certainly it's keeping with our accountability agenda, where we pledge at regular intervals the government at the highest level, including the office of the Prime Minister, would be available to engage our citizens via this particular forum. When you add this to the other multiplicity of ways in which we engage, working for you, press conferences, media reports, statements by ministers in Parliament, there could be no dearth of information regarding matters related to the governance of St. Kitts and Nevis. Let me start by extending best wishes to all for a remarkable 2019. And we hope that the year would be remarkable for the many positive things that our people and country would accomplish in 2018. 2018 was a very positive one for the government, people, and country of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our economy grew for the fourth year in a row, and our fiscal performance saw surpluses on every account. Surpluses on every account, be they recurrent, overall, or primary balance. It is the accumulation of surpluses that has provided the wherewithal for your government to do the many good things for so many people and to move our country forward in the right direction. As a new government, we have been able to do in less than 5 years what some governments have not been able to do in 20 years. And so we understand the nature of the concerns that this would create in the political marketplace. For me, this is a blessing which our people truly deserve. And for this, the nation joins me in saying, to God be the glory. I want to look at the report for one important growth sector, tourism. And according to SCASPA, that is our Air and Seaport Authority, some 149,871 passengers came through the Robert Llewellyn Batchery International Airport in 2018. This compares well to the 140,338 passengers who arrived in 2017. The statisticians would reveal that this represents an additional 9,533 passengers over 2017 for a significant 7% increase over the comparative period of 2017. Importantly, some 7,947 flights were recorded at the RLB International Airport in 2018. This again represents a significant 315 flights over the 7,632 flights recorded by SCASPA for the period 2017. Regarding cruise tourism, SCASPA is reporting that cruise passenger arrivals of 1,103,571 in 2018 versus 1,058,662 passengers in 2017. This represents an increase of 44,909 passengers. Twice in our history, only under Team Unity, we have passed the 1 millionth cruise passenger milestone. Congratulations are in order to all of the stakeholders in the industry, and to the Honorable Lindsay Grant, our Minister of Tourism. For 2019, we witnessed a record number of arrivals by air at our international airport, receiving the largest number of passenger arrivals on the 5th of January 2019, when over 2,728 passengers traveled through our international airport that is coming in and going out, according to the head of our immigration department. Our international airport is now 20 years old. There has been no major expansion over that period. Given the record-breaking arrivals, the increase in airlifts, and new destinations from which we now access direct flights, our administration must seriously determine the next steps in the modernization and expansion of our airport. And indeed, we started that conversation at our cabinet meeting only Monday. In the interim, the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority and related departments such as tourism, immigration, and customs will work cooperatively and collaboratively with the other stakeholders to determine and implement measures to enhance the customer experience at our airport as a matter of urgency. I want to turn attention now to some of the projects that are poised for implementation in 2019. You would recall that in our budget address we indicated that from the public sector and the government sector in particular, over $150 million will be pumped into the economy to facilitate growth, to facilitate employment of our people, and to put our country to work again. So I'm only referring to some, not all of them, because there's no need to rehash and tarry and what has been well stated and documented. The Sandy Point Police Station is one of those projects which is important to us and is important in the context of our delivery of law and order. For the first time in many decades, I'm advised that the Sandy Point Police Station will have its own home. While there has been a Sandy Point Police Station, for the last many number of years, it has been operating from rental property. By building a new complex, we are giving it its own home. I'm pleased to report that after a transparent bidding process, a local company in Skeets and Associates has been contracted to execute this project. And we are expecting to have the groundbreaking ceremony in the near future. I want to thank the Deputy Prime Minister and area representative for the serious attention he has paid to this matter and for urging that we ensure that in our 2019 estimates, we made adequate preparation for this, and we have. The second project to which I want to make note of is the Old Road Bay Rehabilitation Project, and this will include reconstruction of about 1.2 kilometers of road with adjusted shoreline. This will represent a permanent solution to the disruption in our main road network on the western side of St. Kitts, particularly with the advent of storms. The tendering process is completed and negotiations are being finalized with prospective contractors. This project, I am advised, will generate around 120 jobs in 2019, and it is expected that it can be completed within a 12-month period. The third project is the reconstruction of our island main road, And this, of course, is a continuing project since we started that in 2018. And all of us have been well pleased by the work executed so far. Again, several of our local contractors have played a significant part in what is now a beautiful infrastructure that is being executed. Visitors and residents alike have marveled at the significant improvements in our road network. The continuation of this project will bring benefits to all communities during the course of the year. The road network from Keys to Challengers via Keyon will complete the circle of the most expansive road resurfacing program in the last 20 years. As all of us delight in the improvements in our roads, our drivers, they are being asked to exercise due care and attention when driving. In particular, I must appeal to all drivers to resist the urge to speed on our roads, thereby minimizing accidents, loss of life, and damage to property. The tendering period for this project has ended, and some 3 tenders were received and evaluated. This is a 12-month project, and negotiations are being finalized for the imminent start of this major project. I want to commend our Minister of Public Infrastructure and member for number 1. He will well be remembered as the minister who has been most efficient and effective in the delivery of public infrastructure in this country. His record in less than 4 years is second, 3 years, is second to none. I think it's 4, less than 4. And that embodies less than 3. Less than 4 years is second to none in the history of parliamentary representation and self-control of governmental affairs. So again, I congratulate him. Maybe I congratulated him too quickly, because the 4th project again is a matter under his purview for execution. The Fisheries Breakwater Pier at Old Road, and this again will be started soon. The St. Kitts Marine Works is the successful bidder, and the project period has been estimated to be about 5 months. I must congratulate Reggie Francis, the principal of the company, on presenting the most competitive bid. It is great when we can find local talent to execute these major capital projects. And it is a hallmark of our government that where we can, we have welcomed and encouraged our local contractors to participate in the public sector infrastructure development. The 5th project of note is that continuing capital projects such as our RLB International Airport runway should be completed in 2019, and significant capital expenditure has already been undertaken by SCASPA in this regard. Our 2nd cruise pier construction should also continue this year. The truth is, this government has been addressing several deficits in the infrastructure works at our air and supports. The enhancements we are making here were long overdue, and we believe that they will significantly enhance customer and stakeholder experience at our air and supports. 6th area in which I bring to public attention is that we are further advanced in the process of the delivery of the magnificent edifice planned to house the Bastia High School. The drawings are being reviewed by a technical committee chaired by Dr. Haley Seheli prior to submission by the Development Control and Planning Board. I want to turn now to national security, and just by passing reference, see how often I mention that there is a bidding process, that there is transparency in procurement, and you compare that to the fake news that you have been hearing. Never before has any administration been so bold to do as we are now doing. All these capital projects have faced the scrutiny of technicians, of engineers, and advisors of the government. And many persons have been able to compete. The best one, the most competitive one, a judge by the government department, is the one that always ends up succeeding. That is transparency. It is important to note that whether it is with the fisheries complex, whether it is with our roadworks, whether it is with dredging, always the process has been open, including our second coup spare. And having gone through that process, we end up with the best possible outcome for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to turn to national security. And I start on a note of commendation for our security forces, who, in partnership with the regional security system, contain the homicide rate in our country. From the period October 6 to present, our country has not had a homicide. And in the tradition of our country, I want to knock board. In the 6 weeks prior to the RSS arrival, we experienced about 1 homicide per week. The RSS is a critical asset available to all member states. We are the only country in the sub-region, the OECS plus Barbados, that is regular in our payments, not just regular and up-to-date in our payments to the RSS. In fact, over the last 4 years, we have contributed $7.4 million as membership dues to the RSS. This is our contribution to the preservation of regional security. The RSS has been invited here to help complement our manpower needs. They will be here as long as the High Command of our security force deem the support to be necessary. The peace-loving people of St. Kitts and Nevis have commended my government on its bold move to invite the RSS. My government believes in law and order, and every effort will be made to ensure the safety and security of Kittitians and Nevisians and all who reside in and visit our beautiful country. The presence of the RSS provides the opportunity for enhanced learning and training for the police force and for building their capacity to work in operations across law enforcement agencies at home and abroad. Our citizens and residents and visitors are deeply appreciative of the work of our law enforcement officers, and I encourage our security officers to exhibit utmost professionalism when serving and protecting our people. I wish to place on record my appreciation and gratitude to the member states of the RSS for their contribution through the enhanced peace and security which we have experienced since October 2018. I commend the Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Hilroy Brandy, and the High Command, and all others on a job well done so far. We will put another batch of police officers into training soon, thereby strengthening our own domestic capacity to respond to and preempt the occurrence of criminal activities in our country. Since assuming office, our administration has successfully conducted 3 recruitment training courses, namely course number 40, number 41, and number 42, from which 98 police recruits have graduated. We have inherited a situation in 2015 where a large number of police officers were in uniform but had not yet been exposed to formal training. We are correcting this unfortunate situation and thereby consecrating the future. We expect to start training additional recruits early in 2019. This will be course number 43, and 36 police recruits are expected to be adequately prepared to serve as police officers. With the completion of this upcoming course, literally all police officers would have been exposed to formal training as recruits and graduated from their course. In 2018 alone, 155, I repeat, 155 police officers received training. And we are not talking about the recruits course. 155, significant number of the establishment received training. 43 of them went overseas to attend courses in a range of disciplines. 112 received training here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I am pleased to report further that Deputy Commissioner of Police Hilroy Brandy will, during the leave of Commissioner of Police Ian Quayle, continue to serve as Acting Commissioner of Police. Commissioner Quayle continues to draw down on his accumulated vacation leave of over 200 days. Mr. Brandy is a very senior police officer, and he has performed creditably for the past 3 months plus as Acting Commissioner of Police, and I expect even better performance moving forward. ACP Terence James has accepted the offer to head our prison services. Our prison services are being restructured. A modern new facility in keeping with international standards is to be built with better spatial provisions for juveniles, for persons on remand, a halfway house, and specific facilities for rehabilitation and programs for reintegration into society. There will be on-site health and social services to be part and parcel of the new facility. Mr. James should be an asset in this regard. Mr. James will be elevated in the security system as the new management structure improved and expanded in terms of the services which I've just outlined will, of course, ensure, and the recommendation is that we have a Commissioner of Corrections with salary and perquisites of office befitting the said post. During the course of 2019, a greater effort will be made by the police to consolidate the gains, particularly those experienced during the last 3 months of 2018. Since most of the violent criminal activities have been linked to gangs, the anti-gang and the anti-drug task force will be reorganized to achieve more efficacious outcomes. More operations will be targeted at the recovery of illegal firearms. Our air and seaport operations will pay greater attention to detection and confiscation of illegal contraband, including the guns and the ammunition. Our community policing efforts and social intervention programs will be expanded. We will continue to prioritize vulnerable communities and seek to protect and redeem our precious children. We invite assistance from citizens and residents in all our communities to work closely more closely with our police and indeed the extended security forces. We will deploy more security support at our schools, and police resource officers will be assigned to our primary schools. I'm advised that we now have that presence in the secondary schools, and we are going now to expand that support to our primary schools, so that again the precious children are given the kind of support and protection. But this matter, of course, can't be a law enforcement response. A more holistic response is required. And it brings into question the role of the parents. What do they do in the context of the protection of their children from harm and danger? So we want to encourage all parents and guardians and adult figures to play their part and to protect our children from drugs, from gangs, violence, and any other form of abuse. I earlier referred to the expansion of our tourism sector, and we have identified certain critically important areas of interest to tourists and residents. We intend to enhance the security in these areas with both static, post, and mobile patrols. Starting January 21st, 2019, a number of persons will be trained in the skills of patrolling and providing security in tourism areas such as Port Zante, Independence Square, and you could go on and on, identify some of the major tourist destinations of interest not only to those visiting, but our people here. These persons will be sworn in as island constables at the completion of their training, thereby enhancing the security at key touristic sites. All visitors and residents will experience a more peaceable ambience in these areas. So something good is about to happen again in our country. I am pleased to report that the St. Kitts and Nevis Marijuana Commission has submitted its report to me. The report is dated 10th January 2019. I have presented the said report for consideration by my Cabinet colleagues, and it is expected that Cabinet will advise of its determination as soon as it has completed its study of the said report. The report comprises some 12 chapters and 10 appendices. I want to commend the chairperson of the said commission, Dr. Hazel Laws, and all members of the commission for undertaking and completing this report. Equally, I commend all who help the work of the commission, including members of the public, the business, and religious communities. I turn now to our poverty alleviation program, which was successfully launched on the 24th of December 2018 at Independence Square. Independence Square is a most popular, well-known, and convenient location for this historic ceremony to take place. As free people, we came to Independence Square to take charge of our destiny and to create a better future and a better life for all of our people. It was a liberating experience for us all. When we, as free people, when we free our people from hunger and deprivation, all people of goodwill, of course, are made better for this kind of intervention. As at the 11th of January 2019, 2,687 checks totaling $1.34 million were distributed. Additionally, some applications are awaiting resolutions prior to final payments. In some cases, persons by their own self-reporting are above the $3,000 threshold, or other inconsistent data have to be sorted out before an application can be finally cleared for payment. During the course of the month, the Ministries of Social Services, Sustainable Development, and Sustainable Development, in conjunction with the Accountant General's Department, will be sorting out the queries. I feel very happy for the nigh 3,000 persons in Nevis and St. Kitts, whom, as a result of this progressive poverty alleviation program, will experience improved and better living conditions. And I wish all of St. Kitts and Nevis would rejoice and be happy for these people. This government, which I have the honor and privilege to lead, is a caring government, and we will never allow our people to suffer in abject poverty. I again thank all persons involved in this program, in particular the lead Ministries of Social Services, Sustainable Development, the Nevis Island Administration, the Office of the Accountant General, National Security and Public Works, for excellent planning and execution of the Christmas Eve ceremony at Independence Square. There are some teething issues in any new program, as to be expected, given the novelty and magnitude. This is a program in which you had over 4,000 applications to be processed. But we will overcome these, and we will do justice to all people. Again, I want to say thank you to my cabinet colleague. The delivery by this government has been exceptional, and we would have never been able to do so much good for so many people had we not operated as a team. Through every sector, from legal to healthcare, to public infrastructure, to education, to labor services, to foreign affairs, we have time after time collectively and individually outlined the successes of every ministry. We are super achievers, and the record of delivery clearly reflects that.